Welcome to Instant Discussions. We'll be discussing... Hi, I'm John.
Steffan. Tony.
We're discussing Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yeah.
We will confess our
autobiography of Walt Disney.
Yes. Actually, yeah, funny you should say autobiography, because yes, this was based on the unauthorized autobiography of Chuck Barris.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Chuck Berry. Different people.
Chuck, you know that sound you've been running here for? Well,
listen to this. You know that game show you've been looking for?
This is your brother.
Marvin.
Marvin Berry. Why do you have to elaborate on that? Anyway.
Someday that will be on Instant Watch, then we can discuss that.
Oh my god.
Alright, so
it was an
quick synopsis of this film.
unauthorized biography?
Unauthorized autobiography.
Okay, yeah.
Get it? Because it's kind of, yeah.
Weird.
I think he might have been saying that because of the whole CIA thing, because technically you'd have to get at least if he was actually... Alright, so the movie, what it's about is, it is the, according to Chuck Barris, true life story of Chuck Barris, who was game show host and creator, created the Gong Show, the dating game, the Newlywed Game, a bunch of other game shows, and turns out he was also, according to him, a CIA spy, hitman, secret agent, and used the games as cover-up. So that's the basic story as we follow him on his life and the craziness that ensues from that. This movie was directed by George Clooney.
Yeah.
It was written by Charlie Kaufman, who did adaptation. Being John Malkovich.
He was on Taxi too, right?
No, different guy. So that's the basic synopsis of the movie. So let's jump right into. We'll do this quick thing and. So what's favorite parts of the movie? Now I picked this movie. This was always a movie I really liked. I've seen it a few times, and it had been a while since I've seen it, so kind of trying to remember it.
Yeah, same here. I've seen it before, and as I was watching it, I was like remembering everything.
I'm a huge fan of game shows. I really like those. So just being a movie about the creation of these game shows, that was already fun for me to watch that. I really liked the pilot they shot for the dating game.
Oh, with the black dude?
Just the terrible, they could not air that at all. I was just laughing. And so the way they had to...
I blew your lollipop.
No, if you were trumpet,
if I blew, if you were
and
trumpet,
I blew you, what sound would you make? Yeah, that was... There's good moments in there. What are your favorite things about it? Favorite scenes?
I really liked the beginning. I really liked learning about, because the beginning seemed a lot more plausible.
Yes.
And it was interesting, him trying to make his way up.
It's the stuff that we more know is true because we have more people that can corroborate that.
Yeah. His little interesting sexual addiction that he eventually got into, even though he couldn't get laid before.
Yeah.
That was kind of I was cheering for him, all right, get laid. So I like the beginning the most.
Yeah, he's definitely obsessed with it, but he was a weird guy. He couldn't get anything. And then kind of worked out for that. How about you? Favorite parts? Favorite things? Positives?
Positive, I mean, for me this one's a little tougher for me, and this is, and during my ratings I'll probably going to repeat this, but on a second watch and further watches, it's not as enjoyable.
Yeah.
Really, for me,
it's definitely
I know the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this movie's so cool, but then now I'm like, it kind of falls off and teeters off, and there's not really, all that excitement isn't there, and your nail biting isn't there.
You don't, because you already know what's going to happen, and that,
it's all about the tension, and it's it'd like me watching The Road a second time or something. Well, maybe not that bad.
It's, in any of these movies where there's any sort of conflict there, you know how it's going to end, so it's not as great. I think rewatching movies works best when it's got some great scenes that you really want to see again. If it's some good action and some funny things happen.
Well, I don't think it just ruins all movies. I think for me, most of the time movies are ruined because of that, due to if it's a suspense film, if there's suspense in the movie, because then
Yeah.
That whole, it's just never there.
Yeah, it can still be a great movie to watch again. It's just not going to be as good as that first time you watched it.
Like Fight Club.
Yes.
I think trying to think back though, I really liked the I mean, I liked the beginning, like you said, for the same kind of reasons, where it's like, oh, you know, this seems very, very, very real, and then all of a sudden it turns around.
Yeah.
And I do like the end scene.
I like that they've got
The climax scene.
Yeah.
With Julia Roberts.
Yeah, that's crazy. It has a great spy movie ending to it.
Yeah.
So it starts out much more like a biopic, and it's got the other people around him at the time who are talking on video, and so you've got that to support
that was
the
weird.
evidence.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a straightforward biopic with that, but even they were saying, you know, there's some mystery to him, and he's an interesting guy.
Something that's like...
So
and it was really funny too. At the beginning, like I was laughing. Like it was a lot of funny stuff.
Well, he seemed to be a funny guy in general, and seeing Sam Rockwell play him, he played him very well.
Oh, I love that guy.
So there's lots of good comedy in there, and Clooney
Sam
brings a lot of
Rockwell's
good comedy to it as well.
I love just him sitting at the pool, like bleeding. I just love that image.
And the terrible guy who was on the first date that he chaperoned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like going to kill him in the one scene. He turns out to be a spy. Great.
Not really.
Him and the date.
Yeah.
I really like too, and I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but they treated him like a genius, and it's kind of like this is such like a simple idea.
These
right?
are things that no one else had thought of to do before. Like they're simple ideas, and that's what makes them great. I think some of the genius is how simple the ideas work, because you can spend a lot of time thinking on something really complex of a game show, but if it's something that is so quick and simple that people instantly understand
it's instantly understandable and instantly draws you in.
Then if you create that so simple, it works a lot better.
And his game shows have been like just kind of joked about, made fun of, like on so many other movies and TV shows.
Yeah, that they're still.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
they're iconic.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Well, and so what's great about this is there's no confirmation as to how much of this is true, because it's the idea of he was a secret CIA assassin, so they couldn't confirm that that's true ever. There's no way to completely confirm or deny.
Yeah, that's why it started to get weird for me. Is that first like sniper school, and he was just like beating everybody out, and I was like, this guy doesn't have the personality of being like a sharpshooter. Like
he wasn't as good at first. He got better at it.
Yeah, but still though.
Yeah. So you don't know. Let's see. Worst parts about the movie? Things you didn't like? Any flaws in there?
When it just started getting super spy.
It did.
A little bit too much. Like when they did the exchange.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it's the people, and I was like, really?
But it was a lot of spy movie cliches in a lot of those too. So that kind of feeds into this is all in his head. Maybe he watched too many of these movies and he really had that fantasy.
That's where I thought it was going. I thought it was going to go to where he was insane at the end.
But I like that they don't resolve any of that. They leave that up to you to still decide, because it's the same way that the book would do, which is they say this is Chuck Barris' story. This is how he says it. They even have the video of him at the end there, and it's you can choose to believe him or not. This is his personality, and according to him, this is what happened. So they're going to portray that in his best way. I think Ozzy Osbourne had his biography that came out, and he said, "This is my life as I remember it." So admittedly, he's done tons of drugs, and he says, "I don't know if this is the actual accounts, but this is how I remember things happening, so I'm going to put this out there." So that's, for him, this is how he says his life went. And, maybe.
I'd like to write an autobiography like that for me, just throw a bunch of crazy stuff in it.
The trick is you blend it around things, so like periods of time where other people can't necessarily say that you didn't do that.
Yeah.
And it is believable with the thing of him traveling around the world and going like.
But the odds of that
it's Probably didn't happen, but it could have.
It's true. Nobody can.
I think the only really negative for me on this one is in watching it again. It's just not as enjoyable, and it's the same problem I have with Mad Men. Even though I love it, I am so interested in the history of advertising that they don't spend enough time on that for me. And in this one, I'd like to see more game show stuff.
Yeah.
Because that was really interesting. I really like those, but it's kind of the nerdy side of me. Get rid of all the spy stuff. But that spy ending was great. It's just so classic.
Yeah.
I think take down Julia Roberts there.
Yeah, I think for me though, I don't know, maybe I'm not remembering my first viewing. I think it could have been a little bit more tense, but I might just not be remembering my first viewing and how I felt about it.
Yeah. I do love the when he's has the breakdown on the set of the Gong Show.
Yeah, his breakdowns were good.
That was good. Yeah.
So good.
Come at me, lighting guy.
Like, get on the stage. Who are you? Who are you?
See, and that made sense to me. He could just have been like coked up over days and days.
Oh, it could be all in his mind. So those are the things where those breakdowns can actually happen. People can do that, but it's the why he had that breakdown. So let's go with the ratings on this one. I'm sticking with my original rating that I had on there, even though this is one of my favorite movies. I still, when I first saw it, it's one I really like this movie. I wish it could be better as well, though. But I originally gave it a 4 stars, and I'm gonna keep it as that.
I'm gonna say 4 also.
My Netflix says 4.
Mm-hmm. That's what you had it on before?
That's what I'm gonna... No, actually.
Or that's what they recommended it to you. Okay.
I put it on as 4. On further viewings, I put it on as 4 because, I want them to recommend me new stuff. Yes. I would as a first watch type thing, so.
Yeah. It's
definitely interesting.
Yeah. Very, very interesting stuff. So we're going to cut up there for our short condensed thing. And next week, what are we going to be watching?
Next week, we are watching... I've got 2 things, and I want you guys to choose. Either, it's an easy choice. It's either an episodic, that's a comedy, or a kind of a unique movie dramedy.
A unique movie.
I like dramedy.
Unique movie dramedy?
It sounds unique.
Okay.
I like unique.
We're gonna watch The Artist.
The Artist?
Yes.
It's on there?
Not The Fartist?
Not The Fartist.
Okay.
The Artist.
It's on Netflix?
Yep.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Okay. I like that choice. Yes. We will discuss all about that. Now make sure it's The Artist, ARTIST, not The Fartist, because that is also it looks like the same thing. And you can watch that one too, but we won't be.
And be careful if you don't. There have been volume issues with it before. I know.
Yeah, make sure that the volume's correct. Good times. That'll be fun. We'll discuss that next week. Thanks for watching, and we're going to continue on discussing more in depth about Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Thank you. Subscribe. All of that. Bye.
Cool. See ya.